And they're off. 27 Trouts gets the first call. Lunatic has plenty of speed. Careless Star, Teen Drama fourth early on. Then it's Majestic Gigi at the rail. Big Bell and Never Sway are right together, and Roses Are Blue trails. Down the backstretch, Careless Star dueling with Lunatic. 2 lengths back, 27 Trouts, Majestic Gigi, Teen Drama in between them, 2.5 off the leader. Then comes Never Sway. Big Bell at the rail has 6 to make up, and Roses Are Blue at the back. It's Careless Star and Lunatic continuing to go at it. 2 lengths clear of 27 Trouts in third. They're followed by Teen Drama under pressure, fourth with a quarter of a mile to go. Never Sway is on the far outside, top of the lane. Lunatic, Careless Star, a tough customer on the inside of Lunatic. They've been dominating. It's Lunatic or Careless Star head and head. 3 back to Never Sway, closing some ground. Center of the track, Big Bell. Lunatic gets the upper hand over Careless Star close to home, and it's going to be Lunatic to win by 1.5 lengths. Photo for second, Careless Star, Never Sway. Big Bell was next, and then it was a photo involving Teen Drama. They're in the gate. And they're off. Maven, See Through It coming through along the inside second. Chaos Theory third in the early going. And Barristan the Bold is up close, taking third. Then comes Butkus and Natural Power at the back of the field. It's Maven hard ridden to the half-mile pole, leading the way by about 1/2 length. See Through It at the rail second. Barristan the Bold inches up with Chaos Theory fourth and 3 off the lead. Butkus 4 off the pace and a length in front of Natural Power. They're midway on the far turn. Maven and Barristan the Bold. Barristan the Bold now moves his head in front. At the rail, Maven tries to battle back and does so. 2 more See Through It and Chaos Theory. Natural Power at the rail. 1/8 to run and Maven digging in. 2-length lead now. See Through It second. Barristan the Bold flattening out. Natural Power at the rail. It's Maven, See Through It. Maven 3/4, See Through It, trying to get closer. Maven or See Through It. Here's the line. Maven held on by a head. See Through It just missed. Natural Power and Barristan the Bold. And they're off. It's My House. Showtime comes away in good order. Bletchley Park is up close, as is Mobu. Just behind them, Phineas is caught about 5 wide into the first turn as they now move past the 7/8 pole. It's My House will be the leader to Showtime. Katona takes third. Then it's Mobu in fourth. Bletchley Park now fifth and about 3 lengths off the lead. Phineas 2 behind him. Hembry at the back. Onto the backstretch, It's My House, a 2-length advantage coming to the 5/8 pole. Showtime is a joint second inside of Katona, and Mobu outside of that pair. Then Bletchley Park, followed by Phineas, inching up along the rail, 4 off the lead. A big gap to Hembry with a 1/2 mile to run. It's My House leaves room for Showtime, and Showtime comes to tackle him. These two have started to sprint away. It's My House holding firm. Showtime still a length back second. Another 4 to Katona in third. Then comes Phineas at the rail, fourth, and Mobu fifth as they come to the quarter pole. It's My House. Showtime still in pursuit. 2.5 clear of Katona and Phineas. They have 3/16 of a mile to go. And it's My House with a 2.5 length lead to Showtime, followed by Katona, who's now making progress, moving right into second at the 16th pole, and coming after It's My House. It's My House. Katona clearly into second. It's My House. It's My House wins it a length and a half. Katona second. Showtime third, then Phineas. And they're off. Noble Reflection. Here's Fast Buck coming through along the inside to engage. And For All Mankind comes away third. Then it's Count of Amazonia in fourth, being pulled right out of the race. Coulthard pulled up immediately. And Respect the Code, who was off very slowly, is the distant trailer. Down the hill, Noble Reflection leads the way by a length and a half. Fast Buck and For All Mankind. For All Mankind now takes second clearly and goes after Noble Reflection. Noble Reflection by 2. For All Mankind in second, followed by Fast Buck, who's racing a joint third coming toward the quarter pole. On the outside, it is Count of Amazonia now taking that third spot. 5 clear of Respect the Code. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and Noble Reflection is still the leader by 2.5 lengths. For All Mankind on the outside, Count of Amazonia trying to move into second with a 16th to go. Noble Reflection still has a 3-length lead. Count of Amazonia closing the gap, but it's too little and too late. Noble Reflection and Luis Contreras sail home by 3. Count of Amazonia, then For All Mankind and Respect the Code was able to get up for 4th. And they're off. Gators shining very quick away from the gate. Here's Stir the Pot. Conch Daddy is up close in between those two. Matiko 4th, but now going right after the leader. So it's 4 literally across the track. Then it's Savile Row outside Mongolian Ford. Big gap to cross-examine. Half mile left to go. Conch Daddy, very narrow advantage. Stir the Pot on the inside, matching strides. Outside of them, Matiko is a half length off the pace in third. Then Mongolian Ford, Gator shining. Savile Row is in between those two, has 4 to make up, and a half dozen back to cross-examine. Stir the Pot, Conch Daddy come to the quarter pole together as one. Conch Daddy on the outside, just in front. Mongolian Ford looking for a way through, trying to hug the rail as they straighten up. On the outside comes Savile Row now with a clear shot. There's an 8th to go. Savile Row starts to gather momentum, as does Matiko. At the rail, it's Stir the Pot just in front of Mongolian Ford, but Savile Row emerges with the lead past the 16th pole and starts to pull clear for an easy win. Savile Row by 3. Photo for second to Stir the Pot, who was just in front of Matiko, a rallying cross-examine from last in a photo with Mongolian Ford behind them. To the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. Smooth start for the favorite Conclude. Helatic is a little bit quicker down the hill. And Nullarbor is also flashing plenty of speed, second. Now moving into third is Conclude. Ryder just took a peek back to see First Piece moving through in the red colors, taking that third spot. Behind them, Mark's Hip is having some difficulties, 6 lengths off the lead. It's a gap of 3 to Mas Rapido, Fleet Feet, and Valiancer is at the back of the field. Less than a half mile to go, and it's Helatic the boss. Showing the way over Nullarbor in second. Nullarbor comes to engage once again. 2 more lengths, First Piece. Conclude in the orange colors, moves up very willingly and smoothly. And here comes Conclude after the new leader, Nullarbor, with a quarter of a mile to go. Nullarbor in between horses, Helatic fighting on. They're joined 3 wide by Conclude at the top of the stretch. First Piece in the red colors coming through. They're a furlong from the finish. First Piece slips through. And on the outside, here's Mas Rapido. And now it's First Piece. Mas Rapido disputing it from the back. Valiancer trying to get a piece. First Piece in front by a length. And what a clinic ride from Mike Smith. First Piece wins the John Shear. Mas Rapido was second. Valiance are third. Fourth went to Conclude. And fifth was between an oncoming Fleet Feet and Heletic. They're in the gate. And they're off. Seattle Surf, hard scent and responds with quick early foot. Tapatio Leo along the inside comes away second. Then Chief Counsel and Cowboy Mike right together, third and fourth. And they're joined on the outside by Tom Horn, who's 4 lengths off the lead. Then comes Montana racing in mid-pack, a length and a half to Stella Boy. Blue Cheese Olive is in the next flight. Austonian is well behind, about 15 lengths off the pace as they move into the far turn. Carol's Comic is just outside of him and 3 clear of Ship and Scam. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and it's Tapatio Leo shaking loose, opening up 3. Seattle Surf could not hang with him in second. Cowboy Mike cuts the corner and takes up the chase against Tapatio Leo, who's still moving strongly past the 8th pole. Tapatio Leo, 3.5 lengths. Cowboy Mike, center of the track. Here's Carol's Comic with a late run. Past the 16th pole, and it's Tapatio Leo. Tapatio Leo gets there by a diminishing length. Carol's Comic, a hard-charging second. Then it was Cowboy Mike. Next was between Ship and Scam and Stella Boy. Ten. No high five. Post time in 23 minutes. And they're off. Sweet Heidelberg dwelt. Big Beauty is going to the front. Dad's Astray on the outside of Gypsy Lynn. They're followed by Majestic Steps. Sensible Move is moving through along the inside. And after that very rough beginning, Sweet Heidelberg is the distant trailer. Around the first turn, it's Big Beauty, the leader, by 3/4 of a length. And in second is Dad's Estrella. They are followed by Majestic Steps in the turquoise colors. Gypsy Lynn is down at the rails. Sensible Move fifth, 5 off the lead. 2 in front of Sweet Heidelberg. They have 5/8 of a mile to run. And it's Big Beauty and Abel Cedillo just in front of Giovanni Franco and Dad's Estrella second. A length and a half, Gypsy Lynn, Majestic Steps are side by side. Sensible Move is comfortable in fifth, only 4 lengths off the lead past the half-mile pole, and 2 in front of Sweet Heidelberg. They're heading to the 3/8 pole. Big Beauty trying to sneak away. Opens it up to 2 on Dad's Estrella, hard-ridden second. Now Sensible Move is asked to run on the outside of Gypsy Lynn. Sensible Move moving into third, coming to the quarter pole. Nothing left for Majestic Steps, who drops out. Sweet Heidelberg went by her. They turn for home, and it's Big Beauty who's been the controlling speed. Sensible Move on the outside becomes the only threat in second, followed by Dad's Estrella, and Sensible Move's becoming a serious threat within 2 lengths. Big Beauty getting wobbly. Here's Sensible Move on the outside, and Sensible Move, a sustained bid under Tiago Pereira, will draw clear to win it by almost 3. Big Beauty second, Dad's Estrella, and Sweet Heidelberg. Midnight. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very even start. Strut on Louie. Chicks Dig It is coming through along the inside to vie for the lead. Golden Spa's quicker than both of them. And the fastest of them all is Warren's World. So it's Warren's World in front. Soul of Midnight moves up to claim second. Golden Spa Content in third, 2.5 lengths off the speed. Then Chicks Dig It. Spiritist is racing in between horses. Down at the rails, Stay in the Game is 3 lengths off the lead and advancing. Crypto Ride is on the far outside. Down at the rail comes Strut on Louie, who's toward the back of the field now. Inside, Big Hat Willie. And in between those two is Quagmire Magic. Around the far turn, it's Warren's World and Stay in the Game, battling it out on the front end. Warren's World is just in front. Soul of Midnight coming with a 3-wide bid. Spiritist is just outside of him. Then Chicks Dig It, Golden Spa, as the field turns for home. It's a wide open scramble. Stay in the Game with the yellow blinkers on the inside of Warren's World. Has a narrow lead. Spiritist continues to make headway on the outside of Soul of Midnight. Chicks Dig It is in very tight at the rail. They're coming to the 16th pole, and it's Stay in the Game running away now. Stay in the Game, back-to-back for Pereira. Will win it by about 3.5. Big Hat Willie with a strong late rally for second. Then Soul of Midnight, Spiritist, and Chick Dig It. Louie to the outside. And they're off. Goldeneye in the center of the course is hustled out for the lead. So I'm told up close. Ko Samui on the outside. Then how about Dem Apples settled nicely in fourth, followed by Lottery Pick. Then Aja Weed, who was bumping with Big Flint right out of the gate. And What a Dude, 3 wide and last into the first turn. It's Goldeneye, the leader. Has it by about 2. Ko Samui far outside, so I'm told, in between rivals. And down at the rail, how about Dem Apples? Fourth, just 2.5 or 3 off the leader. Then it's Lottery Pick, followed by Aja Weed, 2 in front of What a Dude and Big Flint. They swing on to the backstretch with Peter Urton runners first and last. It's Goldeneye on the front end past the 5/8 pole with a 2-length advantage. So I'm told races in second. How about Dem Apples has a little bit of breathing room at the rail. Lottery Pick in the lime colors between horses. And then Ko Samui, who has lost some ground. Aja Weed trying to mount a bid. He'll be caught wide, but only 3.5 or 4 off the lead. A gap of 5 back to What a Dude. And at the back of the field is Big Flint. Less than 3 furlongs remain. Goldeneye still there. So I'm told, pressing. Lottery Pick looming up 3 wide in third. A gap of 4 back to How About Dem Apples, passed by Ko Samui. They're at the top of the stretch. So I'm told, on the outside, up to take a narrow lead away from Goldeneye. They're shoulder to shoulder, 2.5 clear of Lottery Pick in third, coming to the 16th pole. So I'm told, just in front, Lottery Pick on the outside and Goldeneye. Lottery Pick lengthened stride right on the money. Lottery Pick. A fitting conclusion to the classic meet as Juan Hernandez wins it aboard Lottery Pick. So I'm told loses a heartbreaker. Behind them, it was Goldeneye, along with Aja Weed and Big Flint.
Hi, everybody, and happy Friday. I've got a question for you. When you start to handicap, where do you really start? Of course, probably most of you start with a daily racing form or maybe the brisk past performances. But then what do you use after that? Do you buy the sheets? Do you buy the workout reports? Do you watch the workouts on xbtv.com? Do you start researching pedigree? Do you look up sire statistics? Do you look up dam produce records? Obviously, you have to add a lot besides what's just in the daily racing form. But here's another question for you. Do you ever look at the Sandita.com news section? There's a daily feature in there called Stable Notes, and I'll tell you what, it's a gem of information that'll help you become a better handicapper. Not that many people know about it, but of course, now after I mentioned it, you are well aware of it, and it's my pleasure to introduce the author of the Sandita Stable Notes, his name, Victor Ryan. Victor, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Tom, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here, Victor. Now, a question for you that I ask all of my seminar guests. Where did you start in this crazy game of ours? How did you first get introduced to horse racing?
Yeah, so I was born in Chula Vista, California.
Which is a suburb of San Diego.
Yeah, down by the Tijuana border.
Close to the border.
Yeah, very much. And as I told you earlier, there's an old saying in horse racing, everybody in racing has an uncle. And,
I had one of those.
Yeah, and I had an uncle who took me to Caliente.
That was your very first racetrack.
Yes, sir.
Did you do the degenerate doubleheader with the horses in the afternoon and the dogs at the night?
And if we were really into it, highlight after that. So this was back in the 80s. So,
he corrupted you at a young age.
It was fantastic.
But you fell in love with the game, and then you kind of made a profession of it. Before you worked at Sandita, you had a lot of experience working in on the publication side of things.
Yeah, I got a journalism degree from California State University, Chico.
Were you going to the races, cutting classes and going to the races? No, you were serious about your degree.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to be a sports writer, basically from as long as I can remember.
Sure.
So I got my journalism degree, went to work for a newspaper, the North County Times, which was down in San Diego. Yep. And, as most young guys, get started covering preps and junior college stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, high school. So anyway, one day the editor said we're looking for a backup turf rider to cover when our main guy was off. And I was like, shoot, I know a little bit about the horses.
Yeah.
So I volunteered, did a season at Del Mar, did a summer at Del Mar. Absolutely fell in love with it.
You were in paradise.
Yeah, I only knew the game as a rail bird,
Sure.
sort of a thing. But when I just saw, just the vastness of this game, it just was so intriguing to me. And so I decided that I'm going to go down that path. So.
But then your career took you to the state of Kentucky, and you worked for both Blood Horse Magazine, Thoroughbred Times. You were actively involved there in the Kentucky circuit.
Yeah, I was. And that's really where I cut my teeth as far as just the knowledge of the sport in general, rather than just the gambling aspect of it. And it was great. I gained so much knowledge from that, and I've continued to use it, and it's helped me to this point.
And our publicity director, Mike Willman, was aware of you and your background and your experience. He reached out to you recently, and lo and behold, now, as I mentioned in the introduction, you're the author of the Stable Notes.
Yeah, I did. I got a call a couple of weeks before the meet started, and Mike said that, Ed Golden, the great Ed Golden, who did this job.
Big shoes to follow.
For a long time.
Yeah.
He called me and asked me if I was interested in taking over, and it didn't take me long to say yes.
Now, you wake up early, Victor, and basically walk the shed row and talk to different trainers and try and anticipate some things that horse players, horsemen might be interested in. What kind of is your process in terms of getting new information every day?
Yeah, so every day, obviously, the major stakes races, we want to get a little further insight, what you may not find in the past performances from the trainer, from the owner, from the jockey. Whatever it may be. I also look for other interesting races on the card. And, I try to feature, some of the notable horses. And, it's not necessarily who I think is going to win the race, but if there's an interesting angle on a horse, there's a question I have as a handicapper that I'm sure other handicappers have, but why are they doing this with this horse? I ask.
Blinkers on, blinkers off, change of distance, whatever it might be.
Yeah, changing surfaces, anything else. And so I'm there to ask.
Now,
I started to share that with the readers.
If your morning wasn't busy enough, you also watch a lot of the workouts live as well. And there was an important Kentucky Derby prep move this morning over the Santita main track involving one runner trained by Tim Yakteen.
Yeah, practical move. The Santa Anita Derby winner. He worked today. He had his first work since the Santa Anita Derby. He went 4 furlongs in 47 seconds flat.
How'd he do it?
very comfortably. The rider had a pretty snug hold on him the whole time around. He worked in company with Kangaroo Court.
Another nice horse.
Very nice horse, promising 3-year-old for Tim Yakteen as well. They pretty much were in unison throughout the move. They're, like I said, the rider had a hold of a Practical Move, and on the gallop out, Practical Move extended his advantage, and I think he galloped out in 59 and change, Tim said. So it was a good move. He's scheduled to work again next Friday, I believe he said, and they'll fly to Churchill Downs on Saturday.
Now, one of the benefits of Victor of working at the racetrack is that's the professional side of things. But you and I are both horse players, and you're able to basically bet your opinion at the windows as well. We're going to find out who you like on today's card. But a question for you: what type of handicapper are you? Are you a speed figure guy? Are you kind of all encompassing? Do you throw everything into the kitchen sink and come up with a winner? Like, give us a glimpse into how you approach a day's card.
I'm looking to find vulnerable favorites.
Okay.
That's number one.
Beat the chalk.
Beat the chalk. That's number one priority for me.
Now, you can't beat the chalk all the time.
Correct. You know,
but 2/3 of the time, statistically speaking, you can.
That's exactly right. And you got to find the ones that are vulnerable, and then you can build tickets around that. You know, if you want to play multi-leg wagers. And then on turf, I'm class on the grass all the way. You know, I think class prevails on the turf. So that's kind of my, thumbnail, nutshell where I start.
Here's a quick tidbit for those people who might be interested. You well know probably that jockeys like Frankie Dettori, Johnny V, and Flavian Pratt have left for greener pastures back east. So that the question becomes, who are going to become the better turf jockeys here on the grass? Because those three jockeys accounted for 36 turf wins during the winter spring meet. As I mentioned, they're not going to be here. Juan Hernandez, we know, rides the turf course well. So does Hector Barrios. But where are some of the other turf victories going to come from? We're going to find out who maybe some of those winning turf jockeys might be when we return and find out who Victor likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramon and get the early changes on a glorious Friday here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf firm, with the rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the early changes. The first race starts the 50-cent early pick 5. Number 3, Mendez Mile, 3 pounds over. 6, Black Magician, 2 pounds over. And scratch the also eligibles 9, 10, and 11. In the second, early pick 4 starts. Number 2, Delmar Woman, 2 pounds over. In the third, scratch number 9, Socially Smart, the also eligible, has been withdrawn. 5, Paid in Gold, is 2 pounds over. The fourth begins the Rainbow Pick 6. The jackpot pool starts with $41,000 plus. Numbers 2, 5, and 7 each carry 2 pounds over. Race 5 is the start of the late pick 5. There's no high 5 wagering. Scratch 1, Here Come Georgie Boy. Scratch 7, Chrome to Riches. 1 and 7 are out. Number 4, Stand from Malibu, 2 pounds over. There is a revised morning line for race number 5. In the 6th, number 2, Miss Joe's Candy, 2 pounds over. 7, Conceal and Carry, 2 pounds over. And 6, Prestigious, 3 pounds over. The 6th starts the late pick 4. In the 7th, scratch number 6, Star Prospect. There's no high 5 wagering as a result. 8th race program scratch at number 1, No Hang Charlie. Start of the golden hour, pick 4, race number 8. And in the 9th, scratch the also eligibles 9 and 10. Overweight for the 3, California Bling, 3 pounds over. The golden hour double begins with the 9th. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park, where post time for the first is in 57 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today is Victor Ryan.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Victor Ryan. Victor is the author of the daily stable notes that you can find on the sanita.com website, absolutely free of charge. He does tremendous legwork, and you'll be the benefactor of his work by becoming more informative from a handicapping standpoint. We just heard before the break that Victor likes to try and beat the chalk in every race, so we're going to find out how many chalks he might be able to beat on today's 9-race card. So let's kick it off here, Victor. In race number 1, we're sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs to the distance for $32,000 claimers, $32,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. The rails today are at 30 feet. As you heard track announcer Frank Miramati say, scratch all 3 also eligibles. 9, 10, and 11 will not compete. Number 8, Lansdowne, the original 5-2 morning line choice, is that price currently on the tote board with 56 minutes to post. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Victor, I want to show a replay. This replay is from March 19th. It's the first race on that particular day, and 4 runners in this particular field of 8 exit that race, specifically number 2, Thunderheart, number 5, Bodacious, number 7, Petruccio, and number 8, Lansdowne, all exit this particular race. One of the things I want to have you watch while we watch this replay is number 5, Bodacious, was wearing blinkers for the very first time in this replay and was wide going into the far turn. Perhaps that early speed will be more well managed today now that he drew a more advantageous inside post. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action for those runners back on March 19th.
And they're off. Fast start for We Gonna Have a Good Time. Thunderheart moves through to challenge, and on the inside, here's Law Abiding, and Law Abiding comes right after We Gonna Have a Good Time, and those two are now head and head as Law Abiding is up to take the lead. Law Abiding leads past the half-mile pole, has it by 2. We Gonna Have a Good Time second. Papa Tiger in between horses. Passed on the outside by Bodacious, who moves all the way up to take second. Thunderheart is down at the rail, 4 lengths off the lead, just looking for a spot, steadying a little bit. Then in comes Lansdowne in the pink with 7 or 8 lengths to make up on Law Abiding, who speeds past the quarter pole in complete control. Petruccio and Thanks Maggio at the back, and 8th to go. Law Abiding still with a 4-length lead. Thunderheart on the far outside starts to pick up a little momentum. Bodacious is currently in second. We're going to have a good time on the inside. Law Abiding and Umberto Rispoli ran them off their feet. Wins it by about 2.5. Thunderheart, a hard-charging second. Then it was Bodacious in third.
Victor, nobody was going to catch Law Abiding on that particular afternoon going wire to wire, but we could see Thunderheart kind of making up some ground late. That distance of the replay we just watched was 5.5 furlongs. Today's distance is 6 furlongs. That's half the field that we just watched. I have a feeling after watching that replay, you're probably going to look elsewhere.
Well, yeah, I am. And yeah, the favorite Lansdowne is a toss to me, just even based just off of that replay. I mean, obviously, Phil D'Amato is a best turf trainer west of the Mississippi, if you ask me.
Yes,
but,
sir, I would agree with you.
He's tough to throw out, but that just was not encouraging to me. It was off a layoff, and he can move forward, but I'm looking elsewhere with here. I actually landed on the 1 here, Tom. Juan Hernandez, jumps off the favorite, it looks like, to ride him first off. He showed good speed. He also returned from a layoff. An 8-month layoff on March 18th in a first level allowance. He ran well. He showed some early interest before fading. Now he gets some class relief. He's in for a tag. And I think that he has every right to move forward, now having a race under his belt. Like I said, Sandy, his leading rider, takes over, second off the layoff. I think that he's a play in the first.
I talked about Frankie Dettori having 19 turf wins during the recently concluded winter-spring meet. Juan Hernandez has 31 turf wins, so certainly he is the dominant turf rider in the colony. Like I said, we'll see who finishes second or third behind him. And take a look at the statistics if you have it in the daily racing form for trainer Doug O'Neill. Second off the 180-day layoff, he wins at a 27% win clip. And as you had Victor say, Lansdowne last was ridden by Juan Hernandez. Now Juan elects to ride Franklin 1-star. You give a little love to Thunderheart, who we watched in that replay, probably just because of the extra half furlong.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, he showed some late interest. And again, that was off a 7-month layoff. So he has a right to move forward off of that performance as well.
It's as easy as 1-2 in race number 1, so says our seminar guest, Victor Ryan. Let's turn the page, Victor. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This is a split of race number 6, the exact same conditions, and those conditions are maiden claimers traveling 1 mile on the main track. Fillies and mares in for a $20,000 claiming tag. A field of 6, the morning line favorite from the Peter Miller barn, number 6, American Conquest, 8-5 on the morning line. Here's that guy, Juan Hernandez again. Is he going to sweep the double?
Yeah, I think so, Tom. Unfortunately, I did land on the chalk here. This is maiden 20. It's a bottom level. And typically these type of races, I try to find a horse with speed. That's going to be forwardly placed. These lesser expensive horses aren't the best at passing each other. So I look for a horse that's forwardly placed, and there's really not much in here. But I landed on American Conquest. I got the outside draw on a short field. He ran not very well last time, obviously, but he was off slow. Juan Hernandez does see fit to take the ride. So we'll go ahead and stay with the chalk here in a second.
You also like number 4, Hot Rod Mama, who lost to a maiden 50 claimer dropper last time out, just losing by a half length, slowly improving for the Val Brinkerhoff barn. What'd you like about her?
Well, what I really liked about her is that that last race, it was a slow pace. It was a slow pace in that race, and she rallied from 7 lengths out of it. She was 5th, 7 lengths out. She rallied into that slow pace, was only beating a half length. So, that puts her right in the mix with this group.
It's interesting to take a look at Victor's top choice, number 6, American Conquest, in the past performances. You can see the connections last time out off that brief freshening, decided to run her against winners, actually non-winners of 1 Calibrids, and now she drops back down to the maiden 20. Certainly huge class relief for the favorite in Victor's top choice in race number 2, number 6, American Conquest. Let's take a look at race number 3. This is a split of race number 9, exact same conditions of both races 3 and 9. This race is 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden claiming, fillies and mares in for a $50,000 claiming tag. Scratch the also eligible, leaves us with a field of 8. Number 2, Soul of a Warrior, is a 3-1 morning line favorite. Thumbs up or thumbs down on this favorite, Victor?
Thumbs up on the favorite, Soul of a Warrior. That last race, they tried to run her along. I don't think she wanted any part of that. Now they got her back to 6 furlongs. If you look at that race on the January 28th, Tom, down the hill, she ran really well. At this level, the second beaten only a length and a quarter. And if you look at the running lines, the first place finisher and third place finisher both came back to win. So that's a representative race, I believe. And I think the filly is going to be tough. You
also like Irish Patsy, ridden by Juan Hernandez, dropping down in the maiden claiming level ranks for the first time. What was it about her that you liked?
Well, the last time they got rained off the turf, and she didn't want any part of the dirt, obviously. But you look the race before that in February, she was facing straight maidens, going 6 furlongs on turf as this race is. And she was a solid 5th, only beating 4 1/4. That makes her a class fit at that level. And now she's dropping into 50. That should be enough to get her in the mix as well.
In race number 3, Victor, what about number 6, Precipice, who's invading from Parks Racing back east in Philadelphia, eligible for the ship and win bonus as well, dropping down in class, first-time turf, has some turf pedigree. There's not much to go on here because she's been working exclusively at San Luis Rey Down, where we don't have any video or workers. You give her any sort of a look at a price?
I did. I was trying to make a case for her, but I just don't know how these horses at Parks fit out here, and as you said, no turf experience, the pedigree, I guess you could say that she could like it based off of that pedigree. But again, she's unproven. The works have been okay. I like the Quinones barn. He's been pretty sharp this meet. But again, I just don't know where these horses from Parks are going to fit out here.
Number 6, Precipice, and number 8, Miss Polo Bar, both owned by Slam Dunk Racing. KG owners, that's for sure. We'll see if perhaps we see them in the winner's circle after race number 3. Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. The jackpot single ticket carryover is now $41,000. That amount of money plus whatever is wagered today will be yours if you're the only winning ticket in today's Pick 6 here at San Anita. And we kick things off sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. It's a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 7. Number 6, Awesome Taylor from the Lee Baraccio barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. You talked about the Quinones barn being hot. The Baraccio barn also has been hot during the winter spring meet.
Yeah, really has, man. He's really opened my eyes to him this meet. And she's going to be tough. She's got the best buyers. She's back on the dirt. which could wake her up. And she has not raced on dirt as an older horse. She raced back as a 3-year-old on dirt. So, we'll see how she takes to it with the return to dirt. But I ended up landing on the 3 here, Tom, and take a little shot, 4-1 on the morning line, third choice. And what I like is she has an even running style. She broke her maiden on dirt back in October at Santa Anita. She came back. Most recently, she was on in a turf sprint. She was okay, 5th beat in 2.5. That makes her a class fit at this level. Now they're switching her to dirt. And I like at the 7 furlong distance, I really like her even kind of running style. If you look at her pace numbers and her speed numbers, she has that kind of even style that could play to the 7 furlong distance. The 5-2 second choice, the Jeff Mullins Pequeño Tormenta, hasn't run since June of last year. Coming back at 7 furlongs, that just seems like a tall task to me. That's a tough distance to return from a layoff. So I'm throwing her out. I'm going to wind up on the 3, and I'll put the favorite in second.
Number 3, Quick Like a Bunny. A couple things to add to what Victor said. First of all, again, if you're looking at the racing form, take a look. She's got a good slow progression, improving by her speed figure pattern. Certainly, it looks like she's going to improve today even more since she's so lightly raced. And if you don't recognize her jockey's name, it's a new bug boy in town. Adrian Escobedo is actually a bug boy who's invading down here from Golden Gate. You can see he's had just 66 mounts this year with 5 wins, but certainly now he's joining the big league. So good luck to he and his agent as they start to go into deeper waters, shall we say. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're back on the turf course. This is for Calbred maiden special weights. 2 scratches. Scratch the 1 and the 7 leaves us with a field of 5. The revised morning line favorite now at 8-5 is number 3, Johnny Paycheck. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Victor, another replay to watch. That would be back on March 25th. That's the 7th race. And there's 3 runners that exit this particular race. Be Punctual, Johnny Paycheck, and Silent Heat. But also you get a bonus when you watch this replay as well, because the winner of this race is Old Pal. We'll see him run a little bit later in race number 7. So you can watch not only Old Pal win the race for purposes of race 7, but also evaluate what you see here for today's 5th race. Let's listen to Frank Miramati to describe the action back on March 25th.
It's Johnny Paycheck going out for the early lead. Alongside is Silent Heat flashing good speed, and JD's Rude Boy makes it 3 across the course early. Be Punctual and My Ransom are next. Old Pal settles toward the back of the field. Down at the rail, Country Boy is next, 5 lengths off the lead. Chrome to Riches at the back. Rounding the first turn, and it's Johnny Paycheck leading the way. Has it by 3/4 of a length under a tight hold. Silent Heat is in second, 1.5 lengths. JD's Rude Boy third, followed by Be Punctual, racing on the inside of My Ransom. The favorite, Old Pal, yellow blinkers, about 6 off the pace. Inside of him, Country Boy, and no early speed from Chrome to Riches. It's Johnny Paycheck past the half-mile pole. Silent Heat about a neck back second. JD's Rude Boy keeps the pressure on third. Be Punctual, My Ransom. These 5 have been 1 through 5 the whole way. Another 3 lengths back. Country Boy and Old Pal are right together. Old Pal gets his cue now. And 2 more to Chrome to Riches. Johnny Paycheck sneaks away from the top flight and has a 3-length lead with 1/4 mile to go. Old Pal starts to march up 4 wide. He has to catch Johnny Paycheck at the top of the stretch. Be Punctual is currently second. There's an 1/8 to go. Old Pal with those big strides and plenty of time coming to Johnny Paycheck. And Old Pal will graduate as he should have last time. Old Pal cruises home to win it by 3.5 widening lengths. Much promise for him.
Victor, the old wives' tale is you can't win as a deep closer when the rails are at 30 feet. Well, the rails were out 30 feet on that replay that we watched back on March 25th, just like they are today. No one was going to beat Old Pal, but Johnny Paycheck certainly ran well. First time going 2 turns. Do you expect further improvement today from Johnny Paycheck?
Yes, I do. I think that that was a very encouraging effort. First time going around 2 turns for Johnny Paycheck. Obviously, you saw he got a little tired there late. But, just having that race under his belt now, going around 2 turns, he should have that added fitness. He's come back and fired a couple bullets at Los Alamitos since that effort. So Looks like he is progressing off of that. So, yeah, I'm going to wind up with Johnny Paycheck here in the 5th.
Your second choice in the race number 5, Victor, is another stretch out runner, Stan from Malibu, getting the riding services of Mike Smith. What'd you like about this son of Stanford?
You know, the classic 2 sprints to a route pattern. The pedigree suggests that the 2 turns should be to this gelding's liking. And, you know, in this Boss Sully that won that race is a nice horse. He's running later on the card as well. So, you know, I just think that the, you know, stretching out to a 2 turns, you see that on April 16th that the gelding worked 4 furlongs of 46, which is the second fastest of 118 works at the distance. So it looks like this horse may be sitting on go, should like the added distance, 4-1 on the morning. Well, I guess that's been revised. But Stan from Malibu, we should be able to get a solid enough price. And that's what top it is.
And speaking of pedigree, Johnny Paycheck certainly has that as well. He's a half to both Enola Gray and Alice Marble, 2 very talented stakes winners from the Phil D'Amato barn, also owned and bred by Nick Alexander. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. As mentioned previously, this is the split of race number 2. It's for maiden claiming fillies and mares in for a $20,000 claiming tag. A field of 6, number 4, Sweet Hello, another morning line favorite from the George Papadroma barn, is 6-5 on John White's morning line. Vulnerable favorite here, or basically can't beat?
I don't think she's necessarily vulnerable, but I think she can be beat. And I'm going to take a shot with the 3, 2-1 on the line for Steve Knapp and Tiago Pereira, who've obviously had just a fantastic winter and spring together. This horse, you know, showed some speed, you know, going 6 furlongs on turf last time out. Now gets to stretch out. And, you know, I obviously moving down in class as well, getting class relief, 2 turns, good work here, April 12th, bullet half mile and 47. Blinkers are coming off for the stretch out. Tiago Pereira and Knapp, as I mentioned, been a strong tandem. So I'm going to land on Conceal and Carry.
Cleverly named Conceal and Carry, takes blinkers off, drops down in class. If you got an extra $20,000 laying around, you can claim this daughter of Gunrunner, and certainly that seems to be a bargain purchase, at least on paper. Victor, we heard you talk about pace figures a little bit earlier in your analysis for one of the previous races. How important are pace figures to you when you try and put together the puzzle?
Oh, very much so. You know, I'm you know, an avid follower of the Bible of horse racing, daily racing form. But I also like to supplement that with Brisnet PPs. I really like their pace ratings, their querying points that they provide, and you know, you can glean so much off of, you know, if the pace was slow and he had an easy lead, or you know, just so much more you can gather when you have those good pace ratings that you can trust. So that's what I like to use. Pace
makes the race. That's certainly what many of us believe here in Southern California. Another question for you, Victor. You were in the pedigree hotbed, so to speak, the state of Kentucky, working there. How important is pedigree in your handicapping analysis?
Well, I was called a pedigree geek when I was there. Yeah, people were surprised by that. Really? But yeah.
But it's cool, the nuggets you can find, right, when you dig into the pedigree?
Most definitely. And there's always seems to be occasions where something that on paper you necessarily wouldn't see, but if you do know the pedigree, you do know some of the bloodlines, that wait, this horse should like the turf, and that's where you can find some angles and some spots that other players may not have.
And the state of Kentucky is spoiled because you and I both visited some of the local farms there, and they're breathtaking. They take your breath away in terms of how well the horses are treated. The general public has no idea what what type of treatment and condition they get.
Man, it is unbelievable. Time I brought my parents out, my mom and my dad, back in the 2000s when I was there, and they were absolutely floored. Yeah. They were absolutely floored on how they do that. My dad just looked at the stallion barn for about 20 minutes, just looking at it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's amazing out there, the bluegrass.
Oftentimes the humans are treated better than humans, that's for sure. Race number 7, we're back on the turf course, 1 mile the distance. This is for 3-year-old Calbreds, allowance optional claiming types. 1 scratch the 6 Star Prospect, leaves us with a field of 6. The aforementioned old pal, who we just saw break his maiden, is the 8-5 morning line favorite here. Now, he improved greatly from start 1 to grade 2. He did have trouble in that debut sprint. Do you expect further improvement today, or are you looking to beat this chalk, Victor?
I'm going to try to beat him. The reason why is that you know, obviously he won really nicely, 3.5 lengths. He broke his maiden last time going this same trip, a mile on grass. But the thing is, again, this goes back to pace. That was a relatively sharp pace that he rallied into. I don't know how strong of a maiden special weight race that was. Obviously, he beat Johnny Paycheck that day, but you know, I think that the pace aided win on his part. So I'm going to land on Boss Sully. I'm gonna land on Boss Sully. He hits another 2 sprints to a stretch out angle. He ran a 78, going 5.5 on the turf. He had a nice, set off the pace a little bit, which I like. Going 2 turns now, 2 turns to a route. Hector Barrios, as you mentioned, some of our turf riders. He's one of the better ones we have, so I like that. And the pedigree suggests that he should like 2 turns as well. And I spoke with Brian Corner in the stable notes for yesterday.
Did he tell you the truth?
It sounded like it.
Okay.
Sounded like it, Tom.
The BS meter? How was the BS meter with Brian?
I know that's a big part of this game as well, obviously. But he's really excited for this horse to go 2 turns. And apparently the whole camp is, and that's what they've been waiting for. So we'll see if it plays out.
It's interesting. Boss Sally, who Victor likes in race number 7, certainly took a ton of action last time out. You can see went off at odds of 1-2. What you can't see is that the morning line was 5-2. So they hammered this horse, and obviously he didn't disappoint, winning by open lengths. We'll see if he takes similar betting action today. And you make a good point, Victor, that I want to explore for a minute. Old Pal, you always have to look at the risk and reward equation, right? So we know that Old Pal is going to get hammered in the wagering, and you just believe, based upon that hammering of the wagering, his risk and reward percentage is way out of whack.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't see the pace setup being as working out as well for him in this race. Yeah, I mean 8-5 on the morning line. No thanks on that. When there's other options here.
Well, certainly another betting option is the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, which starts in race number 8. That links our last 2 races here at Santa Anita with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. It always pays well because it's got a lower takeout and a higher betting minimum. So make sure you get involved with the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4 that starts in Santa Anita's race 8 today. And it's a full field of 10. It's $10,000 claimer sprinting 6 furlongs. Morning line favorite is number 4, My Harbor's Dream, taking a big drop in class for Val Brinkerhoff. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Victor, one more replay to look at. It's the replay back on April Fool's Day, April 1st. It's the 6th race. I want you to watch the replay for number 5, Vicente Shadow, number 6, Midnight Special, number 7, Mighty Matt, and number 11, Afternoon Heat. Specifically, a couple of runners to look at who finished basically a nose apart, Midnight Special and Mighty Matt. Yeah. But watch the start for number 5, Vicente Shadow. Went off at odds of 75-1, was off slow. And look at this performance. You'll want to throw up if you played this horse this particular afternoon at 75-1. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
And they're off. Slow beginnings for Vicente Shadow and Box of Chocolates. Cat Bernay is vying for the early lead and takes it now, opens up a length. Midnight Special comes away in 2nd. Afternoon Heat 3rd in the early going. And Mighty Matt moving right up into contention, only a half length off the pace. Then Mr. Clutch in 5th. Followed wide by Vicente Shadow and Box of Chocolates at the back of the field. It's Cabernet, Midnight Special, and a 3-wide Mighty Matt. They have 5/16 of a mile to run. Vicente Shadow takes 4th. Box of Chocolates trying to mount a bid from well out of it. Afternoon Heat has 3 lengths to make up. And at the rail, Mr. Clutch with the white blinkers, wide open at the top of the lane. Mighty Matt comes calling for the lead. Between horses, Afternoon Heat running a good race. Midnight Special boxing on center of the track is Vicente Shadow finishing with a flourish. It's Midnight Special and Mighty Matt head and head for the wire. Mighty Matt, Midnight Special could go either way. Midnight Special by a nostril. Mighty Matt.
Vicente Shadow, Victor, lost all chance at the start, but certainly ran game in defeat. We saw the nose decision between Midnight Special and Mighty Matt. They certainly were well clear of the 3rd place runner. Midnight Special took blinkers off this particular afternoon for trainer Dean Pedersen. Give us your thoughts on race 8.
I'm coming right back with Midnight Special here. I thought that was a really game victory. Mighty Matt actually looked to me like he put a head in front of him in the stretch, and Midnight Special battled back. And I thought that was, that showed me something there. So, he just won at this level. He showed his game. And, I'm just going to come right back with him. 4-1. This is, that's a good price. It's such a wide open field. I'll take that any day of the week on him.
You also like number 8, Octopus, reclaimed by trainer Peter Urton. What do you like about Octopus?
Yeah, Octopus, he's dropping down from 12.5 to 10. He was only beating a half length for 12.5. And I also, I think that he's going to be forwardly placed here, a little more forwardly placed. And I think with the drop to 10,000, that I should put him right in the mix here.
We close out the day in race number 9, which offers $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept to the Golden Hour pick 4, except the daily double links our last race with the last race here with the last race of Golden Gate. And race 9 is a split of race 3 earlier on today's card. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden claimers, fillies and mares. $50,000 is the claiming tag. Scratch the 2 also eligibles, 9 and 10. Leaves us with a field of 8. The lukewarm morning line favorite putting blinkers on is number 6, Miss Lizzie from the Doug O'Neill barn. This looks to be a bit of a grab bag, Victor.
Yeah, it looks like I'm hoping for a nice day for Mr. Brian Corner. I'm coming with map to my heart, the one for Brian. Just came out from a 13-month layoff in February, at this level. Going 6 furlongs, same trip, 6 furlongs on the turf. Was forwardly placed through the opening half mile. Was still only linked back after a half mile. And so, I like when a horse shows early interest in a race, especially when they're coming back from a layoff. They show speed, and then they fall back coming off a 13-month layoff. I can forgive that. So to me, he has every right to move forward off of that effort. I think he could get the lead in here too from the rail. So I think I'm going to take 8-1 on the morning line. I'll take that any day of the week as well. So yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the 1 here.
Hector Barrios, perhaps we'll see him in the winner's circle multiple times this afternoon, particularly in some of the turf races. Victor, you do the Lord's work, getting the stablemates out on a daily basis. Thank you so much for your time and insight today. Keep up the great work, and hats off to you and everybody in the publicity department who does such a tremendous job.
I really appreciate that, Tom, and hopefully people will come read the stable notes.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Keep in mind, live racing resumes tomorrow, Saturday. We've got a good 10-race card that begins at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific time with 2 really good stakes races as well. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati updating us when the late program changes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have fun and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Here are the changes. The track fast, turf firm, rail on the turf at 30 feet. First race kicks off the early pick 5. Number 3, Mendez Mile, 3 pounds over. 6, Black Magician, 2 pounds over. Scratch numbers 9, 10, and 11, the also eligibles are out. Race 2, early pick 4 begins. Number 2, Delmar Woman, 2 pounds over. In the third, number 5, Paid in Gold, 2 over. Scratch the also eligible number 9, Socially Smart. Rainbow 6 begins with race 4, just under 42,000 to kick off the pool. Numbers 2, 5, and 7 each carry 2 pounds over. In the fifth, no high 5 wagering and a revised morning line. Scratch 1, Here Come Georgie Boy. Scratch 7, Chrome to Riches. 1 and 7 are out. 4, Stand from Malibu, 2 pounds over. Late pick 5 begins with race 5. Sixth race overweights, number 2 plus 2, 3 plus 2, and 6 plus 3. Late pick 4 starts with race 6. In the seventh, scratch number 6, Star Prospect. As a result, no high 5 wagering. Eighth race begins the Golden Hour pick 4, program scratch of number 1, No Hang Charlie. And in the ninth, number 3, California Bling, 3 over. Scratch 9 and 10. Golden Hour double starts with the ninth. Golden Hour pick 4 begins with race 8. Enjoy your Friday afternoon at Santa Anita Park. They'll be at the gate for the